Hi and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Laura Zorza and I'm a retired Navy veteran. Today I want to touch on a topic that there's a lot of buzz about on YouTube and elsewhere on the news, and that's to do with Iran and are we going to go to World War III? What I want to say to those that are concerned, especially if they have yet to enlist and are maybe having second thoughts. We could be facing a conflict. I don't know so much if it'd be a world war. Nobody knows that. Okay. Iran and the United States, conventional war-wise, they are no match. But this is something that you should be looking at, not just because of what has happened within the last 48 hours, but just in general. Understand that a strike from an adversary can come in many different forms. It's not just a conventional war with, all the tactics of planes and tanks and what most people would know from something such as World War I, World War II, or Vietnam and all. It can also happen, yes, by missile strikes, but it can also happen in other ways. And those ways can be, yes, attacking our service members over in the FOBs. FOB is a forward operating base throughout that whole region. There can be assassinations, attacking of embassies, diplomats, things of that nature, because yes, they did mention about shedding American blood. So you can take that in many different ways. But then there can also be other things, such as the Iranians. They actually have a very highly capable cyber attack force. They attacked our bank system back in 2011. It's possible they could attack our power grid. They could attack different water sources, stuff like that, which would cause a great deal of harm to Americans here on U.S. soil. There can also be sleeper cells anywhere throughout the world, especially here in the U.S. We never know. That's another reason why, yes, this situation is bringing things to light, but as an individual, just to be vigilant, but especially as a military member, we are taught to be more vigilant than the average civilian. So with that being said, you should always be looking, not dwelling, but always looking around your surroundings for anything. And that also goes into always being prepared, okay? I understand if you have not enlisted yet, or if you are new to the military, you may not be accustomed to some of these things happening. I've served through the Iraqi War, the Afghanistan, and also in the first Gulf War, Desert Storm. So I've had quite a bit of experience. I can relate to what a junior sailor is maybe experiencing as far as the anxiety and not knowing, what is next, what's going to happen, or even possibly for those that maybe having a second thought about enlisting. But here's the thing. When you enlist, regardless if that's for the GI Bill, if it's for the health care, whatever your reason is, first and foremost, the military, although those are perks, and it may be like a stepping stone to a future career if you plan on joining for 4 years to learn about electronics, to go out and be an electrician after, or whatever it is. The military is your first job. Okay, so I really want you to understand that. If you have a significant other, children, they're going to take the back burner, I hate to say, to the military. Military comes first and foremost, about everything. Your family and all is going to take a back seat. So that's just something else to think about. Even if you don't have any type of dependent in your life right now, that's just something to keep in mind. And that's one reason a lot of individuals also do not stay in, because once they get into a relationship and, have children or that, they understand that conflict. And even though they may love the military, their family is more important to them, so they often leave. So, I want you to be aware of all that yes, this is being brought to light in the news, but stuff is happening continuously behind the scenes that as a junior sailor you may not be aware of. And yes, we're ramping up, we're sending all kinds of soldiers and Marines and stuff over. This may affect those that are currently serving as far as having either no liberty ports or having a restriction as far as time and areas you can go, because as an American, you're a target at any time. But especially when something like this happens, you are a much larger target. So, just to put that out there. I also want to bring something else up that, like I was saying about if you join for the education or whatever it is. When you sign on the dotted line, I really want you to think about that commitment that you are giving yourself over to the government. And there's a saying, it's the author's unknown. The saying goes like this: a veteran is someone who, at one point in their life, wrote a blank check made payable to the United States of America for an amount up to and including their life. Like I said, really let that sink in, because so many of my brothers and sisters among all the branches have given that ultimate sacrifice. And I'm not saying this to scare anyone, but I want you to be realistic that, like I said, even if this current event never happens, there's always that possibility. Okay, there's so much going on in the world at all times. So I would highly recommend that if you are not someone who really studied history, that was one thing I can say, that when I was overseas, I really wish that I would have paid more attention in school, in high school, for history lessons, to where when I visited places, I would have had a better understanding. And I mean, since then, that's all I do now is read and research, because I want to understand the past, because by understanding the past, you understand the present much better, much clearly. And, who knows? If you're currently serving or want to enlist, you may be the next leader that has to make some of these tough decisions that are happening right now. So, educate, educate, educate. And for those that are currently serving, you should always be up to par with whatever your rating is, with all your quals, your collateral duties, your GQ station, all of that. But now, if you have any doubt of anything, it's times like this where I highly recommend you go back and, maybe do some refresher training. Because on a moment's notice, it doesn't matter if you're shipboard, if you're on a boat, if you're on shore duty, whatever it is, that training may have to kick in. And you want to make sure you're ready. Okay? And that is one reason in the military, regardless of the branch, we do nothing but train, 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 train. Okay? To get that embedded in your brain to where everything is second nature. So if an event such as, which we don't know what's going to happen, there's, like I said, there's many other avenues they can take, with cutting off the Strait of Hormuz, which is between the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman. They could, attack other oil refineries like in Saudi Arabia, such as Abat, which is where I was stationed, where like 25% of the oil in the world comes from. Okay, and it's not even so much even hurting us per se, it can also be hurting our allies, which in turn also hurts us because of, with trading, and there's just so many different working entities that, you have to look at the big picture. And that's why I say educate yourself. Do lots of reading. Yes, you can watch the news, but regardless of who you watch, it could be skewed one way or another. But, really do your homework, read. If you have any questions, comment down below. I'm more than happy to answer any type of questions. Like I said, I served in the first Gulf War, I served in Iraq, I served in Afghanistan, also in other areas during the times of these conflicts, Kuwait, Qatar. I served in that whole region. So if there's any questions you have, like I said, comment down below. You can send me an email, and, whatever it is, I'm here for you. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. And if you like the video, what they say, give it the thumbs up. If not, you can give it a thumbs down. That's fine by me. So until the next video, Take care. Please be safe. And have a great day. Bye.